Welcome everyone back to another Boldcast reaction. I'm Carson.
I'm Lindsay.
And this is Hell's Paradise, episode 2. Leave a like and subscribe.
I was just gonna say, we really liked the first episode.
We loved it.
And we hope you're enjoying our reaction so far. And check out our Patreon to see I think the next one or the next two.
Next one.
Yeah, the next one before it comes out on YouTube. And then we'll be caught up.
Leave a like and subscribe. Check out Patreon for uncuts, early access for the next little bit, and uncuts for the rest of our shows. And when we catch up to doing weekly, you'll get the uncuts before they come out on YouTube and uncut reactions, obviously. But yeah, check that out, Patreon, and leave a like and subscribe if you like Hell's Paradise, because we're really loving it. Let's go. Rakugo. Is he telling the Grim Reaper? Shinigami?
Well, I mean, at least he had an actual good executioner.
Yeah, it was her dad. That's how good he was.
Damn.
Damn. Wow. Those are brothers? Oh, that guy! Are her family? We're gonna see them for sure. Look at them. But like, this guy was in the OP. I remember him specifically. I think somebody was bowing as he was walking outside and we saw him in a different shot as well. It looks like he's blind. And one guy has one eye, one guy has both eyes, one guy has no eyes.
That's interesting.
I wonder if they've
if he
been
has,
tasked.
Extra senses.
They might have been tasked. Yeah, maybe they've been tasked probably with the same thing she has, to go find somebody to take different teams. And yeah, the Rock. I think I've told you about the show. Everybody else knows about it. It's a really, really good show that a lot of people missed out on. It's called Showa Genroku Rakugo Shinju. It's about storytellers like this guy, and there's a story in that's like a classic, a comedy about a Grim Reaper or a Shinigami, and maybe it would be funny if that's the story he was telling as he was getting beheaded. But it seemed like he was doing Rakugo because you sit like that, and you have a fan and a cloth as like props, and they could be other things. It's cool. It's like a classic Japanese art.
Yeah.
Not quite devoid of emotion, like her dad. Is it chipped? Oh.
Is that why she's like trying to figure out what the other people are feeling so that she can like be on their level and can understand?
Oh yeah. And if she can if she knows that they're just pieces of shit, then there's no doubt or fear in her strike. Yeah, well, there is like the crazy guy, and then there's the person from her family. These visuals are insane. Yeah, they're like all dressed the same. They all have the same outfit as she does.
Yeah. Oh, this is their like setup area, just outside.
徳川成吉公君らがお目通りかなわぬお方である。
What's the show? They're not educated at all.
ご講義のご意向だ。この講義ご免状
Some people are just gonna be insane.
足立又五郎女子供ばかりを快楽のために殺した下道あんた伽藍のガビ丸髪の色と背格好でピンときたよ私らの世界じゃ超有名人だしねでも
How does anybody know what he looks like?
がっかり
If he's such a good ninja, how would anybody know what he looks like?
Well, I guess it must just be that, like, oh, like this guy with white hair, like she said, he has the white hair and the whatever clothes, and they're just assuming that that's him. And maybe it had been known that he got caught or something. Oh, like they were like, oh yeah, we caught this guy and we're gonna execute him.
That's a charitable explanation, but it seems like they just want him to be kind of famous. That always gets me. In Naruto, it's the same thing, but in this, it's like, especially because he's such a deadly assassin, how would anybody know how he looks
Oh,
natural?
that's Kakashi. It's like, you mean the ninja that no one, like, what?
Like, I understand them, like,
Yeah, I
hearing
know.
his name, like, Gabimaru the Hollow, like, but does the explanation, or does the description of what he looks like go along with that? In which case, how could you be an effective ninja?
Unless he's just so good that he doesn't,
he doesn't hide himself?
Anyway.
I don't know.
確かに最初こそ警戒したけど今はまるで別人のように気迫がないこの男も他の罪人
Or brother.
いや噂通りそれ以上の極悪人なのか
これより諸君らが向かう島について説明するまるで極楽の
It's like paradise, except it's not.
面紙を取れ罪人ども
They're gonna show them the, like, dead flower body.
彼は先日の上陸調査で唯一生還した
He returned
Turned
alive.
alive?
ご覧のや人ではない
Is he alive?
Is he like a tree?
帰還した折体中
Did
に
he say what he did?
翌日それらが開花した
Christ.
彼以外の60人余りの調査団が消え
60.
たまま
He's alive!
島で何があったのか情報源がこれでは手がかりもない、こんなやべえ島なんて聞いてねえぞ
You're gonna die anyway, you dumbass.
いい加減にしろ本来死罪である諸君らに無罪はおろか浄土に渡る機会まで与えるのだ深い温情がわからんのか
Is this guy insane? Does he not see the guy next to him? Who's this kid?
何もわからねえ島なんだろう戦薬がなかったらどうすんだ
そうだそうだ不満があるのなら抜けても構わんぞ参加は任意
Yeah, that's why they have all the executioners right here.
老婆で待つ子分たちの前で死んだ方が
Anyone else?
一つ言い忘れていたに際し貴様らに同行者をつける
Make sure they don't escape. That's why they're coming.
貴様らの死罪はすでに決定事項それは島の中でも同じだ島で勝手な動きを見せればその場で打ち首に処す彼ら山田朝右衛門が監視役として同行するのだ
I mean, I guess that's fine, but isn't the whole point of sending these criminals is that everyone that goes is probably gonna die anyway, but then they're sending all of these people when they don't know what causes the, like, flower thing? Like, if it's just being there, you know?
Yeah, the whole point is that they're like disposable, right? These guys aren't exactly disposable.
No, these guys are like the most elite people around. Like, they're executioners and they're super awesome.
Yeah.
So it doesn't really make sense to be sending them in to the potentially poisonous air or, like...
With like these, you know,
these
unaccounted for criminals.
It's
who,
like, would
know.
you rather these criminals escape or, like, all of these people die? Like, I don't know. The logic on that seems a little bit iffy, especially because they don't know what caused that. If it's like, okay, you can go and just don't touch anything and make the criminals touch stuff first, or, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah, it seems like kind of an excuse just for them to have a Hashira. You get the dynamic duo of each group.
まんがもう一つ上陸する前に人数を絞ってほしい。
Fine.
限られているのでな。なので今から人数を絞ってもらいたい。絞るっていう。
See all of you generic looking fuckers? You're out.
Denji over here plays no shit. He's even got one eye like Denji at the start.
仕方あるまい。ここで死ぬならどうせ使えぬ人材だし。ああ、手縄は外すなよ。
He's just gonna be sitting there like,
Yeah.
they can't kill me, so like,
Yeah.
big deal.
Cool.
Yeah, I wish I do kind of agree with you. I wish there was some kind of explanation as to, like, because the guy originally ordered, like, send disposable people that we don't give a shit about. That's why they're rounding up those people. It seems like, you know, they're just trying to, here's the buddy cop scenario. We have, like, the wild child, and then we have, like, the straight man, samurai person accompanying them,
So
and
like
that's, like, a good
like
dynamic duo. Then you basically have this Hashira situation, like I was kind of saying.
Or like a psychopath type of deal of like, oh,
Yeah.
well, here's the...
Which is fine, but like give us an explanation as that why that makes sense with what you've already established, rather than just like forcing me to do the legwork as the viewer and come up with excuses as to why what you're doing makes sense in your story, you know? Like, who cares if these people are disposable? That's the whole point. So, give me an explanation, is all I'm saying. Not the comments give me an explanation. I get it. I just want them to say it in the show.
I like how there's some people that are just standing around. It's just silly.
手縄じゃまともに戦えん。もうついからぬ。全員が使えなくなって終わりだ。
Yeah, they're all getting injured and...
主因のものはどれじゃ。隊員たちの中でも
Oh. Yeah, see, if you wanted to narrow it down, you should have just done it as that.
Yeah.
And not
Describe them as superpowers.
Not bring a serial arsonist. What does he bring to the table? I'm sorry, but like, this guy who murdered women and children and this guy who just burned people's houses down, what good is he on an expedition of this type?
I guess they know that. They're just...
I know, it just seems pointless to even spend all the manpower to even bring them here.
Yeah, well, clearly they wanted to have a death match on this beach. And they wanted some fighting to happen. Because I think that's the only reason why we're watching this right now, is because, like, otherwise, how does the story go? They show up to the beach and they go. And then we have the whole first 2 episodes where there's not really, like, a blood. And they just want blood to be on the screen, I guess. It's because, yeah, if they already know, like, who is the superpowered people, why is this happening? Ooh. Must not be a good kunoichi if she's captured.
Use people as swords.
Eat bear's head first. He doesn't need to. Somebody's gonna see him as an easy target. It's like, when do they stop? It's like, okay, you've reduced yourselves enough.
Oh, there's like one person left. Cool.
Facts. That's not what I expected her to say. I wonder if this guy is like giving her resistance because he knows that she can be good, or if he actually believes what he's saying, or if he's just like kind of telling her, you know. Ouch.
I can go kill those bastards.
侍どもを突破してこっから逃げるぞ。兄、あそこの侍を生んでて奴を殺して刀を奪るぞ。
Yeah, nice try.
切れるのか。
首切りの棒からは逃げられない。なればただ黙って受け入れるなんてまっぴら。自分自身で見極めたい。なぜ
Gotta get the nudity in somewhere.
殺して平気なわけあるか。
From this guy.
Yeah.
ことを考えてくれんか。
Oh, he's telling them.
好きで殺したやつばかりじゃなくて。
You know, man, I got a wife at
こ
home.
んなことさ
I'm
せられ
leaving
た
this
ら
lifestyle
I won't
behind.
let you do this to us.
いやいやいや、できれば殺しなどしたくないってごく当然のことだろ。
Yikes.
ゲドごときが言うか。おい、そこのやつら。ああ、こいつを殺せば即上陸組にしてやる。
え？
マジかよ。そこは動くんじゃねえぞ。
いやいや。
They do.
ガラッタリア。避けてんじゃねえ。
話はなんか。
He's like a conscientious objector, just randomly.
仕方。殺すか。
Hmm?
殺しに来るなら殺すよ。
嫌なんじゃ。
Yeah, but you're giving me a reason, so.
嫌だよ。でもわしも死ぬわけにはいかんし、仕方ない。
何言ってんだってね。
Just slowly walking towards them.
これからしょうものを考えたら。ああ、やだやだ。ああ、やだ。
Damn!
Just ripped it out.
This is a man. His blade is burdened by regrets.
Again.
That's not a clean
That's just
beheading. Oh!
Oh my god.
Does that freak you out, old man?
Yeah,
That's
I thought
sick
you always
looking.
wanted to
That
watch
looks
a
so cool.
fight to the death.
This show looks so good. What is that? That looks so cool.
これからしょうものを考えたら。
Yeah.
綺麗にやれば恨まれないのか。
私に必要だったのは殺しを恐れぬ強さではなく、
He's so burdened by everything.
その恐れを殺した命
Yeah.
覚悟だ
Stop trying to
It's
avoid
there
it.
either way.
That's a cool shot. I wonder if her clan mates feel the same way. This wasn't the deal, lady.
罪人ども、貴様らを上陸組とする。
Who's that girl?
賊を
Sexy geisha lady laying
She
down.
didn't do anything.
人食い花魁、赤絹、くどい
Cannibal!
兵士の譲り派、
Put some clothes on.
モロマキア、
The apostate. That's
以
cool.
前の大だら六郎
He
太、
didn't even take off his mask.
以上10名と、諸君らにはそれぞれ1名ずつ山田家の門弟、首切りや左衛門が同行する。
Sick.
これより船に乗り、南海に浮かぶ秘境の島へ赴き、不死の戦略を探し出す。さすれば自由だ。
Flower petals.
案ずることはない。行き先は極楽城向こうの国、新戦。
Shinsenkyo.
Yeah, okay.
危険はない。
You just already showed them the dead guy with flowers sticking out of his eyes.
Yeah, this feels like early 2010s, late 2000s anime ED. It's so good. What'd you think of that episode?
Good episode.
Good episode.
I won't complain on it anymore other than just saying I still do not understand the logic of sending, like, not criminals in there on this death mission.
I understand the logic if they have faith in that they'll get information,
I guess. I worry of, like, when you see, you sent 60 people there, they all died, one guy came back and he was turned into flowers.
But none of them were these, like, legendary samurai.
That's true. That's true.
Or the shinobi that can't fucking die. Mm-hmm. I can excuse it. I can let it go. It's just, my only problem is that they didn't have logic. They didn't say their logic about why they're sending them. They just said, oh, well, we're sending you so that you don't escape, but it just doesn't make sense why they wouldn't want them to escape if they're sending them to this island where everybody dies. Like, I guess just to make sure that they come back, give them a reason. Like, it's like, if you think about it, there is the logic to it, but when they're doing all this, they're going through all this effort to set everything up, to give us, like, explain everything, but they don't explain this one very critical part or why they're doing that, and it just feels like there's room for it to be a little bit illogical. Mm-hmm. That I can understand why it's a problem, but it's not really a problem because it makes sense. Like, they explain they want them to come back, basically.
Yeah. And like I said, I just wanted to mention it again, but I don't. Yeah. It's not going to affect my enjoyment of the show.
And this, going off of that, this also won't affect my enjoyment of the overall show.
This first,
like, they just, I get you want to have a big bloody fight and everything, and it was cool, and I liked how it ended up. I like that how Sagiri came to a new realization about, like, the whole burden of killing and stuff like that, about how, he's taking on that burden as well, but the issue is not to run from the burden, it's to accept that that's a part of it, and to carry that burden.
Not be believing that there's just because her father did it so cleanly and beautifully that he doesn't feel bad about it, or, some people may not feel bad about it, but that's just on them. Yeah. That's not a typical thing. Yeah,
so I like that. I like that we arrived there. That's a cool, again, these, like, thematic, metaphorical, like, these deeper ideas than just, like, a bloody bloodbath. But whenever there's anything, like, I complained in Demon Slayer 2 when they were fighting Rui, and, like, the random low-class Demon Slayers saw, like, a bunch of people get shredded to pieces and were like, I'll take this guy down right now. And Tanjiro's like, no, don't go, don't do it. And then he's just like, don't try and stop me. And then just gets sliced in half or something. And it's just like, do these people have no regard for their life? Do they have, like, and also it's like, when you can see the story making an excuse to have, like, this bloodbath by just, like, okay, we want there to be a big fight, let's, like, create a reason for them to, like, show off their powers and show off how cool they are by, like, killing all these people. It's just kind of like, and then for them also to pull out the book. The thing is, like, that's one thing. Like, if they didn't know who was worth it. But the fact that they already knew, it's like, we saw what happened with Sagiri. That probably happened with all these other people.
They interrogated them and found out what
So then what is the point? How did this even happen? Where do these other people come from? Did they just, like, if the Shogunate...
They were just random?
If the Shogunate set it up in advance because he wanted to see them fight, and just he's sadistic like that, that's one thing. But the fact that he was, like, in the heat of the moment, just like, could you make them fight to the death, like when he held up the fan? So he didn't do this with pre-planning to see the spectacle of, like, a death match. He just came up with it on the spot, which means they brought these guys knowing they'd be useless, not planning for them to have a death match, but also not planning to take them on the thing. Why the fuck did they bring them here in the first place? It just doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense unless you take into account the fact that the author wanted there to be a bloodbath, which is fine. Just justify it a bit more and make it make sense. I'm okay with the bloodbath.
Yeah, which is why...
But don't just, like, don't make it so transparent that, like, and again, I'm freaking out about this mostly just to be funny. It's not that big of a deal, but I thought I'd point it out because maybe some people didn't think about it that way. That's all I'm saying.
It's just a little bit silly.
It's just silly.
But
That's
I mean,
all. It's not a big
the thing
deal.
is that they do this and then they kind of can't do it again because they already killed off all of these like shitty characters.
Yeah, but again, maybe it's also a power scaling thing. But also that explanation doesn't really make sense either. That because like we got this whole thing with Gabimaru, where we see how strong he is. We see his abilities. We see how resilient he is, how strong he is, how many people he can kill. We see that before alone. So if this was an opportunity to see, oh, here's all the other players, here's how they do it. If it was set up by the Shogunate to do that, so that they could see and find out who the badass was. But again, because they already did their research, oh, here's a book of the Red Steels, everybody else, fuck them. Just reduce your numbers real quick. And it's like, I don't know, for that not to be pre-planned, it just shows that like, you know, I get that they're also trying to show that the Shogun is like, so detached, right? Like I get that like the administration here, like, and maybe that'll be a thing later in the story if they're getting the pardon, to see how bloodthirsty and detached from life and death these guys are. They don't give a shit whether people live or die. I get it, you know, I could see the theming and the world building in that way. It's just, you know, justify it a little bit more and don't, you know, if you're going to look for an excuse to have like this giant bloodbath, don't make it so transparent that that's all you wanted. And I'll think it's way cooler. But at this point, it's just kind of like a reason for them to all kill each other randomly. But again, what saves it for me is the fact that at the end she does come to that realization, and we get to see honestly when Gabimaru jumped in and he was biting people's throats off and like punching their like ripping their throats out with like his fingers and shit. It's that like was cool. Yeah, and we get to see some cool animation, which saves it right there. You know, like we talk all the time about how we really liked God of High School. The story for God of High School is trash. It's garbage. But what saves it from being like, you know, it's as cliche as you can be with all its like stupid shonen tropey nonsense. But, you know, it was a spectacle of animation, and it had its moments
of character, emotions, and theme.
Yeah, I just wanted to mention that one thing. So like all of this stuff that we're complaining about with like, you know, how ridiculous this is. It's saved because there is that theming at the end, and there is that beautiful piece of animation at the end. So, you know, they pulled it through in the end. I just, you know, I wish they didn't do all that. Yeah. That's all. But it was saved. And it was a good episode overall because of that. Yeah.
And yeah, I like the little how they're more similar than not. Like she's killing all of these criminals, but in the way she actually has to be like them in order to do that, because she is killing people. What's the difference between an executioner and an assassin, other than just the legality of it, or the sense of justice of like, oh, well, this person has killed people, so I need to kill them. And in doing so, then you've killed like 30, 40, 50, hundreds of people. And even if they were bad people, what does that matter? It's like he was saying, it's like, you know, all of you guys have killed before. And he's like, well, I mean...
Not because we wanted to.
Not because we want to. Some of the guys were like, yeah, it was because I wanted to. And it's like, yeah, well... Get out of here, then I'll kill you.
Yeah. How about a nuanced perspective on all this there, old man? Yeah. So, yeah, overall, good episode. I like seeing all these guys. I hope that there's more than just a cool design. And, you know, I like this Kunoichi girl. She's sexy and awesome. And I like that the other really hot girl is like a cannibal. That's crazy to think about. Everybody has like a cool thing about them.
It would have been funny if they just like, she didn't kill anyone, and then in the end she was just like...
Yeah.
Or like had a little bit of blood like on her mouth.
Yeah, she's like dabs it with a cloth or something, all like fancy. Yeah.
I don't feel like that outfit's gonna be very practical in this place.
You don't know.
Either of them.
You don't know. I feel like hers is obviously meant to be attractive for sure, but like it, you know, light clothing makes sense for you know, acrobatic ninja fighting and stuff like that, I suppose.
I like all of the executioners around here. They look pretty cool. And I guess those aren't her brothers. They're just like
they're a part of her clan. Yeah. So they're like related to her, but they're like distant. Some of them will be maybe one of them will be her brother. Maybe they're all cousins or distant relatives of some sort. Because that's like if it's traditionally like a clan and they're a part of the clan and they don't just serve the clan, maybe they just serve the clan, because you know, if they are like samurai, maybe they're like taken in. But this seems like an order of people that, what they're all like born and raised to do this.
Yeah, and
So-
interesting as well that there don't seem to be many, or if any, women in that line of work either. But she felt like she was just destined to it and didn't really have a choice. Like she looked in the sword and she was all covered in blood anyway, so she just kind of went for it, which is interesting.
And now we're at Shinsenkyo, and we'll get to see the first part of that in the next episode, which you can find on our Patreon right now, or wait for it to come out on YouTube. But if you want to get that a little bit early, you can check out Patreon. Leave a like and subscribe in this video. Hope you're enjoying our discussions about the show. Hope you enjoy more of our stuff. Hope you check out Patreon and see the next one. I'm Carson.
I'm Lindsay.
Bye-bye.